Hello everyone. Welcome to Chef Salim's Recipes YouTube channel. In this video, I will share in detail how to make a wonderful marination from ram meat. After our ram was slaughtered, it was rested overnight while hanging. This procedure must be applied for freshly slaughtered animals. If you have a cold storage refrigerator, rest it there. If not, you can hang it in a cool place. In summer days, it is healthier to shorten this duration so it does not exceed 6 hours. I cooled it with a fan, and since the night was cool, I left it to rest. In this recipe, I will use the meat between the rib bones. I will show you how to soften these parts, which are normally tough. First, I cut with a knife from the place where the ribs end. Then I pull the piece out by holding the ram from its arms. I cut and remove the arm. As you see, when you cut from the right place, it separates very easily. Now let's remove the other arm the same way. You can also separate the neck part only with the help of a knife. When you find the joint and cut with a knife, when you hit the bone, pressing a little with your hand is enough. We also removed the neck. Now it's time for the meat on the outer side of the ribs. I will strip these parts and leave only the special meat remaining between the bones. From that meat, we will prepare a real feast for ourselves. I cut by entering with the knife right next to the bones, as you see the meat strips very easily. First, starting from the back part, I go down to the right side and take the meat. Then I do the same on the left side and strip it to the left. I also cut the cage part by finding the joints towards the ends of the bones. After removing the cage this way, there is a small piece of meat left here. We also take that. Now we have reached the meat we will cook. Here I will marinate these long pieces of meat that remain between the bones. Using a thinner pointed knife here makes your job easier. I cut and remove the meat between the bones one by one. Our meat comes out in pieces about 12 centimeters long. These are the meats I will cook after marinating for 2 days. We are done with the rib bones. You can throw the bones away. They will be a real feast for dogs. Now let's move on to the marination. First of all, I will use the blood of the meats. I cut the meat a little and leave it in a strainer. I will add the blood that comes out into the sauce I will prepare. Ingredients: half a capia pepper, red sweet pepper, chopped and mashed. 1 onion, coarsely sliced, added without mashing. Half a liter of milk. Olive oil softens the meat. A very little with fingertip powdered baking soda. If you add too much, it spoils the taste. Be careful. Some drinkable soda water, mineral water. A little soy sauce. A few drops of vinegar made from 7 different fruits without additives. 3 drops are enough, more would be heavy. Thyme, if possible, original mountain thyme. 1/4 of a spoon sugar. 12 grams of salt, sufficient for 1.5 kilos of food in total. 800 grams meat, 700 grams marination ingredients. As the meat waits in the strainer, its blood will collect. I will add this blood gradually into the sauce. Now you will say, isn't blood forbidden? What we use here is the dirty blood that flows when the animal is slaughtered. This is the essence remaining inside the meat. Also, we do not eat this blood. When the meat cooks, it already comes out and we pour away that liquid. We only use this blood for tenderizing purposes. It may be open to discussion, but this is the method I apply. I add the meat into the marination sauce I prepared, mix well, and will leave it in the refrigerator meat storage section for 2 days. Our meat's marinated in the fridge for 2 days. Now we move on to the cooking stage. I will use a wok pan, but it does not matter. Any pot that you can close the lid will work. The meats are already softened. From here I understand that the marination worked. Normally these rib meats cook in 3 hours, but with this method they will be ready in only 25 minutes. First, I add sunflower oil to the wok pan. When the oil heats, I add the meats without adding any water. The meats release their juices, as you see. I pour out this liquid. Thus, the excess liquid and blood remaining from the marination are completely gone. Our meat remains perfectly clean. Now I add a little more oil and fry the meat well. On high heat in 5 minutes, they already get a nice color. Then I move to the 20-minute steaming stage. At this stage, I add a little water to the meat and close the lid. The thing you must pay attention to here, if you add too much water, the meat will boil, not cook. You must add the water in a controlled way. As the water evaporates completely, I add again about 1 glass. So at 5-minute intervals, I add water 3 times in total. At the end of 20 minutes, our meats are cooked. Yes, as I said, after 20 minutes, the meats are ready. At first, I thought of adding some butter, but since the meat's own fat was already quite a lot, I gave up. I checked the salt, and as spices, I added black pepper, cumin, and red pepper flakes. The result was wonderful. I also tested it. The meats are extremely tender. I can enjoy them without sticking to my teeth at all. Thank you for watching. I recommend you try it. Bon appetit.